want every side to come together to attempt to take down the 100 side.
Man, they gotta understand.
We want all the smoke.
We go off the content.
Three, two, one. Hey there, welcome back to the channel where we keep it real. No capping. I'm your host, bringing you nothing but straight fire and authenticity. Today, we're diving into 12 rooms that I got to promote. The 100 ENT showroom, hosted by Big Wack100. The Beehive room. Love and R&B room, hosted by the queen of the 100 side, R&B. No room for the weak. No mercy room. Spin the block room. 100 ENT Jailbreak Squad room. 100 ENT South room. Petty Betty and Toxic Tanya room. Dangerous Minds room, hosted by Beast. Good Burger, hosted by Pitbull. Sleepless in LA, and many more. If you want to get closer or you want to be a part of the show, go to Clubhouse, follow one of these rooms, or you look for a room titled with Wack100. These particular videos all made possible by the one and only Wack100. Get ready to vibe with me as we explore the hardest topics that need some real recognition in the streets. Let's jump right into it and show some love to this channel by hitting the like and or subscribe button. So, without further ado, hold it down. One mic on Wack.
Dark-skinned Jermaine, the writer. What up, bro?
Dark-skinned Jermaine.
Thank you for 5. He says, yo, dating broke women, including Cassie, was the beginning of the problem. Puff never had no issues with J-Lo or Young Miami. They got their own back. They're not over here singing. By the
Cassie
way,
wasn't broke. Don't do that. Cassie was not broke.
Without Puff, she don't have it.
Cassie was not broke. When Cassie met Puff, this all came out in cross-examination. She had put out her first album, which was a success. I don't know nothing about her. This is when she was with Ryan Leslie. She was linked up with Tommy Mottola, a very powerful person in the music industry. She was modeling, and she had an apartment in Manhattan. This is before she meets Puff. She was already an established artist. Anna Esteveo brought this out under cross-examination. She was not broke. Don't say that.
Counselor Lawrence, second 5, it says, yo, I think Diddy's not guilty on 4. So he believe on the 4 charges he's not guilty, and it said, I think we're deadlocked on racketeering. Said, let's go. One could only hope. We have no idea. This is the biggest cliffhanger we've ever seen. Tomorrow, what's your plans tomorrow, by the way?
Be at the courtroom. You know what I'm doing.
So it's probably likely.
Then I'm coming over here.
Yeah. So it's likely that you're gonna be sitting there watching that verdict because I think they're gonna deliver it tomorrow.
Sidebar. I'm gonna be right there.
Yeah.
In the courtroom. As soon as it come down, I'm going downstairs and I'm going live.
What do you think is going to happen? It's going to be high emotions, whether guilty or innocent. You have his mother. You have so many people that rely on him. You have Dana Tran, who just has a newborn by him. You have his 7 kids. You have so many people who either, are interested in the release or the acquittal of him. And probably the people who have testified are saying, we need this quote unquote monster locked up that we could secure the bag. What do you think the emotions tomorrow is going to be? Because I'm going to say, I'll predict, Chad, I think a verdict is coming tomorrow.
Sean G is going to be devastated if he's found guilty of RICO. I am going to be hurt. I'm going to be devastated. I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be disillusioned. I'm going to lose all faith in the federal criminal justice system. I am going to be hurt.
What do you say to the people? And I saw some people say this. They said, man, we love Unc, but Unc definitely picked a side. He's too much on the one side, and we want to love Unc, but we don't want Unc to be too much on a side. We want Unc to just give it up. And yeah, he could lean one side, but it's clear you are saying free Puff at this point.
Well, if you read The Art of War by Niccolo Machiavelli. Machiavelli states that it's better to have a friend who picks one side or the other versus a friend that straddles the fence and waits for the outcome and the winner and then picks a side, because that person who straddles the fence and picks the side of the winner will never ever be trusted by the winner, because the winner will have seen that they were straddling the fence. But the one that picks a side,
that's a fact,
and the guy wins, he knows that that's a loyal friend. The man that picks a side and he loses, the loser knows that's still his loyal friend, because he picked the side before the judgment ever came down, before the war was won. So, you know, Sean G, I'm straight up and down like 6 o'clock, right? This is how I live my life. You know, if I'm with you, I'm down with you like 4 flat tires. And if I'm not with you, I ain't with you.
That's very interesting. I'm gonna say this. I've never said this before.
Akademiks.
No, I've never said this before.
Shout out Akademiks. Akademiks took my live and put it in his live.
Yo.
And I got about $1,200 in super chats that day.
Hey.
Changed the whole trajectory of my platform. Motherfucker, yo, AK sent me here. Ak sent me here. AK sent me here.
Yo,
and you sent me 300.
Come on,
and you sent me 300.
Let me tell you
I
this.
said, uh-oh. I said it done changed.
Hey,
I said it done changed.
To what you just said, and I never said this. And I never said this.
I studies The Art of War, The Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi, The Art of War by Sun Tzu, The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli, The Discourses by Niccolo Machiavelli, The Art of War by Niccolo Machiavelli. These is required reading. I got little Sean reading it.
Let me say this to you.
Check me out.
I've never said this. Chat. When I went to meet with the president's son, Donald J. Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., I went to Mar-a-Lago. We had dinner. And I'm trying to bring my world to them, because obviously they were going through a campaign at the time. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to be on Apologetically Me. I'm hip hop.
What year is this?
This is last year, right? They got
okay for this administration.
Yes,
all right.
Of course.
Talk to me.
We're talking about the Kendrick and the Drake beef. And while I was shocked, because I was going to go to Mar-a-Lago and I was going to go view the president's estate. He was probably going to pop up there, maybe, but his son was going to be your official guest. We stayed at a hotel that's about like 20, 25 minutes.
You and who?
Just me.
By yourself?
Rumble set it all up.
Check them out.
I got a suit to Rumble. We're streaming on Rumble right now. Lauren was confused because we rated Lauren today. We gave her the treatment.
Shout out to Rumble.
Yeah, the same shit they did for you, we did for Lauren today too. Like, she got a lot of super chats and everything. I told her to go live. You know, we got to show love to you guys. We watch you guys so much. We watch you, we watch Lauren. And there were messages in her comments of like R Block, and she was like, "What's R Block?" It's Rumble. So, shout out to my guy, Chris Pavlovsky. He's the CEO of Rumble. He set it up. Says, Ak, you're gonna meet with the president, possibly, but definitely the son of the future president, but also the past, because it was Donald Trump. He was in a campaign. I said, okay, cool. I go to the hotel. I was expecting a lot of shit. The president's son pulls up in a Suburban, no Secret Service. It's like, hop in. Super regular. I'm telling you, this is how it went. He drove us to Mar-a-Lago. There is police and Secret Service because it's a tourist attraction. It's in Palm Beach. Everybody drives. They got their MAGA thing, whatever. Again, I went there to represent myself in hip hop. Okay? When I get in there, and by the way, I'll say, he asked me, he says, what's going on in your world? I said, well, the biggest thing going on in my world right now, they got Kendrick and Drake beef. The wife, who's now the ex-wife, she actually was the wife of Gavin Newsom at one point, and then she became the, I think, fiance of Donald Trump Jr. was Kim. She said, you know, Kendrick sampled me. I was on Fox News at the time. So we start talking about hip-hop stuff. Kendrick, Drake, start talking about Diddy a little bit, because that was after Diddy got, like, you know, was under investigation. And we get to have dinner at Mar-a-Lago. And they gave me the tour. They said, this is my father, this is my room. And I was like, oh, wow, this is impressive. So we're having dinner. And he says, tell me a little bit more about what's going on in your world. What is this beef? So I'm telling the president's son about hip hop beef. And I'm like, Kendrick and Drake, they don't get along. It's not that serious, but it's a war of words. And he says to me, he says, where do you lie on the matter? And I say, Drake's my guy. Drake's my favorite artist. He's always been. He says, I know you're the #1 guy in hip hop media. This is why they set this all up. You're the #1 guy. And he said to me, which is something important, which relates to what you said. He said, that's your guy. Rock out for your guy. Can't play both sides. You'll be bigger and better when you play Kingmaker. Don't be the person that's just sitting there like, whoever who wins, I'm gonna be on their side. Because the guy who sits back and says, whoever who wins, I'm rocking with them,
can never be trusted.
That's a sucker.
Can never be trusted.
You could never be trusted, no. And you have no power. It's better you go out in a blaze of glory with the person that didn't win.
Right.
Or you're standing victorious next to the person that did.
Right.
More than you're the person that never picked a side. And I looked at that from someone who they're not looking at how I'm looking at this world. They're looking at global economic power control. And from their perspective,
and he saw his father go through it.
From their perspective, that neutral shit don't work.
No.
That, oh, we don't have an opinion.
No.
Oh, we fuck with them both.
I'm taking a
don't
side.
Work. So I completely understand that.
Thank
and
you.
By the way, it's the same thing with me, even in that situation. Whether people said it was win, lose, or draw. Yeah, I picked who I thought was the guy. Whatever y'all thought is what y'all thought. But what you would know about me is that I'm not the guy who waits for the results to be ready. And I said, I got it.
Right,
I got it.
Right.
Yeah.
My man.
Right.
Yo, my man. Yo, nigga, I knew you.
I knew you was. Yo, you ever see them videos when they watching the basketball game and one team wins and he take the jersey off and he got the other jersey underneath?
Right.
Could never be that. So
No.
I understand what you're saying. Why do you think that other people down at that courthouse were unwilling? We're unwilling to say what their gut feeling was or
be vocal
heart.
about it?
Yes.
Because they need acceptance. Their self-esteem is low, and they need acceptance from people and approval from other people. They want to fit in. Because there was definitely some people. I was the only one that was vocal about it. Nobody, man. Nobody. I was the lone ranger, man. And I became Puff's PR. I became Puff's PR.
That's interesting. Explain that because
his family, they couldn't speak to me because they probably got gag orders or whatever the case may be.
And also they couldn't speak. They couldn't say anything because people are looking at them a certain way.
And they didn't know me really too much, right?
Yeah.
But the more they watched my videos, because I found out they were watching, because some of the attorneys for Puff came up to me in the hallway and said, yo, we watch your videos.
And they knew who you were.
Ain't no question. And then I would see the sons and the family, they'd be like, which was letting me know, like, they see what I'm doing. But I wasn't doing it for them. I wasn't doing it for them, man. You know what I mean? I'm solid all the way through, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm solid all the way through. The feds wanted me to cooperate in my case, man. They wanted me to turn in my clients, and they wanted me to wear cameras and wires. And my son's mother was took custody of him away from me and shit. And 27 days before I left to go to prison, and I went to my public pretender and said, "Yo, man, I can't. You got to get me
public pretender.
My public pretender.
You mean public defender?
Public pretender."
Not defender.
Not a public defender. That nigga was a public pretender. And I said, man, I got to get some home confinement or probation. And he said, Sean, the only way You got mandatory incarceration. You got Zone D, level 0, category 0, level 15. You got mandatory incarceration unless you sign a 5K1 and you turn in your clients, and we're gonna put a camera and wires on you. You gotta go in places we want you to go into and be on call. I said, man, hurry up and send me to prison, man.
Turn it down.
I'm not finna do that.
Why?
No, man, hell no. Mama, that ain't me, man.
We live in a different world now where I think in hip hop,
but I got a son, man. My
Yep.
name's Sean Xavier gonna be senior, man. And I got a son, Sean Xavier gonna be junior, man. And he got to live up underneath that umbrella. You understand? And, you know, I was a fly nigga before I came on YouTube and social media. You know what I'm saying? I had $1 million net worth before all of this. Right? So, you know, I just wasn't going to do that. I never did that. The way I was brought up is that you never do that. You never do that. You never do that. The people that did that to me, that cooperated against me, ain't none of them had no good luck.
They were cooperating against you.
Yeah, man. Motherfuckers agreed to testify against me, man.
So what do you feel like, you know, they mentioned Diddy being in court, and when some people are on the stand, he can't help but be like,
because he know they lying.
Like it's like he and to the point they warned him. They're like, you're doing too much. But
Right.
I could imagine he's like, I did all this for you, and you up here telling this fallacy.
Thank you. Say it, Akademiks. That's how he feels. And then after that, he's sitting there and his stomach is churning that I'm facing 30 years. And look at what they doing. I can't even imagine how that brother feels. But I know the depression I went in. I was in a depression for 3.5 years, man. When I lost I had a $400,000 a year income, 9 rental properties, my principal house, Chilltown. I had a house in Jersey City, tax business. I was a licensed real estate broker. I lost it all, man. And death was looking at me, and death was like this.
What do you mean?
My world crashed in on me, man. My life got dark, man. My life got dark, and nobody called. People was cooperating against me, betrayed me, people I thought loved me. And the only person that was there for me was little Sean. He was 18 months old, and he used to come up to me out of the blue, and he used to say, "Daddy, I love you." And I used to look at him and be like, why? Because I hate me right now for what I've done to myself, for the people that I've chosen, for the greed that I allowed to take over me, for the recklessness. Because when I became a millionaire, I became more reckless. I had the same thing, 7, 8, 9 women, fucking them all raw.
You see, people don't know this side about you, and maybe they also don't know why you can't. Like, I had no idea you were a millionaire before.
7, 8, 9 women, 3 main ones.
You had the honeys, huh?
I had 3.
Had the honeys.
I had 3 main ones.
Really?
That loved me and was ready to sign on the line in blue ink if I would have said so. And then I had my clients. I used to fuck my clients in the office on my desk. I had a couch in the office.
Wilding it.
Everything Puffy's up there going through, this is my story. But not on, I just didn't have no jet in 900 million. But
yeah, you were having them on the real casting couch.
all of that. I was tricking. I was paying this one's car insurance, this one's car payment. And when it all went down, the day the search warrant came, when the feds came, about 20 of them came with the search warrant, with them navy blue jackets with the letters. They had a windbreaker convention at my office.
Oh my
God. You could have took, listen nigga, you could have took every letter off the back of their jacket and spelled any word in the dictionary.
What was that day like?
That day was like, I drove, I was living in Jersey City. I got up and I didn't sleep all night that night.
You was fucking a bitch?
Nah, I was asleep. It was April the 14th, 2011.
But something didn't feel good. Energy was off.
The energy was off. I believe they was outside watching me. I got up. I went to the office. I drove to the office, and when my office was in Clifton, New Jersey. I got out the car. 2 big white boys jumped out of this Bumblebee Camaro, like from Transformers.
Yeah.
and they had the badges on with the bulletproof vest, and he had a rolled up paper. He said, "You Sean Gumby?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "This is a search warrant. We coming upstairs with you." I said, "All right, come on." Excuse me. And we went upstairs. I opened the door. Then I had another door. I opened that door. And when I went in and put my keys down, like 20 agents came in. Woo! Go over there. And it was a white girl. The white girl was...
They knew where to go.
The white girl was telling everybody what to do. And it was one nigga there. He was light, bright, one of them high yellow niggas. Light, bright, and damn near white.
By the way, John Gold, thank you for the 20. He says, yo, this is a great example how blacks should work together. Come on, man. I love Unc, man. Unc is a great content creator and someone who has positive energy. Number one, content creators should support each other. You know, we are nothing without each other. And here's the thing.
Independent content creators at that.
That's a fact. And here's the thing.
I have no backing from nobody. That's why I could say what I want to say.
Here's the thing. If, you know, a lot of people, and, you know, I know some of my audience, I don't believe at all. I feel like the help has been 50-50 mutual. I sat many days trying to figure out what's going on with this trial, and I'm like, I could go down there, but I got to go down this type of way. You know, we talked about that. We were talking about going down with a sprinter, security, this and third, because it was a commotion. And I said, if we're going to cover this trial, this is happening in New York, in my backyard, I got to cover this effectively. We got to cover this right. And I was just like, should we undergo this? But then we can't even bring cameras in there. How are we going to do updates? And we're like, we need some pundits. We need people who we could trust. And through the early stages, we found you guys. And we found you. We found Lauren. And I'm going to be honest with you. You guys waved the flag. You guys really carried it. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is why I tell my audience, you helped me. You helped me, and it was upon me to not do what many large creators would do to a small creator and be like, okay, I'm gonna just take this person's work, capitalize off it, but not try to redirect my audience to fuck with him or let's see what he's about. And even you being here and telling your story, that's another arc that people go check you out. You know what I mean? So this is why, you know, John Gold, thank you for that donation, but this is what independent content creators should be, right? Like you've seen this spot, you've seen a spot upstairs, and we did a reel today, and you said, Act, you started this all by yourself, right? I said, yeah. You said you started from zero. I said, yeah, with no backing, yeah. And that's important because that's all of us.
We know what it's like when you put up your first video and you think it's going to do 100,000 views and it does 17 views.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? And 4 of those is you.
Yeah, you keep refreshing. To the point YouTube stopped counting your refresh. You're like, all right, nigga, it's enough. But yeah, so I love what you guys are doing, and I've been, you know, to my audience, I've been so amazingly proud of when we've identified another independent content creator, and we say, oh, we got to support them. Man, I almost came to tears watching how they were supporting you. Today too, with Lauren, I said, man, this is, you know, for me, I've been doing this for so long, and I'm very happy, and I'm in a good place, but it makes me happy knowing that my audience, we don't take it for granted, and they could appreciate people like you. So this is why I'm glad to have you up here. But anyway, keep with the story. So the Windbreaker party's happening.
Goddamn Windbreaker convention.
Okay.
And they stayed in my office about...
What are you doing? Are you in cuffs? What
2 hours. No, I'm sitting... They made me go sit in my reception area, and 2 of the agents, one of the supervisors and another dude, white dude, both of them was white. They came and sat. One of them sat the chair. The nigga put his... I'm sitting here. He sat his chair right next to me and was sitting next to me, and he started to question me. He was shaking and shit. And I said, nigga, you scared. I'm the one supposed to be scared. It's 20 of y'all in here. And then they showed me the W-2 of the black girl, the undercover black girl that came in.
They showed you that?
They showed me that W-2, and they said, do you remember this? And I knew it when I saw it. I said, yeah. They said, you got her back more money on her taxes than what you were supposed to. I said, yeah. They said, do you do this all the time?
Well, you said it in that encounter. You know, they probably had body cams or something.
I don't give a fuck what they had. They asked me the question. I told them the truth.
Okay.
they said, do you do this all the time? I said, yeah, sometimes, yeah. He said, about how many times? I said, I don't know the percentage wise, but I do it. Then I said, I got to take a piss, man. And I got up and I went to the bathroom.
They allowed you?
They followed me into the bathroom and stood by the stall while I pissed. And we came back out. He came and sat right back next to me again and kept questioning me.
Did it read your Miranda rights?
No. And they was there for like 2 hours. Another dude came back and says, what's the combination, what's the passcode to your secretary's computer? And I gave it to him. They said, if you don't give it to us, we're gonna get in there anyway. I gave it to him. They took all of my clients' W-2s, all of their paperwork, checks, and they left. My other secretary came, they got her, took her somewhere, questioned her. And it was just like, it was a crazy day, man. And from that day, my life spiraled down in a self-fulfilling doom-filled prophecy.
Let me ask you a question.
And I went into a depression for 3.5 years.
Do you believe, as we watched this Diddy trial, and you said you could, not fully to his, because he's a billionaire, right? What his lifestyle was, but you could see you had a bunch of honeys, this, that, and third. Do you believe when you got caught and, you know, once you start like processing all the events, do you think it was because of greed you got there? Why do you think you got there? Because you were living this extravagant lifestyle. It's the same thing. Diddy has to process this too. No matter how much he could sit in his, he put
himself there.
Yeah, he could sit there and be like, man, this fucking bitch, I did everything for this hoe. How could she do this? Where do you think the accountability comes in, and where do you think the wrongs start? Where did it start for you?
For me, money blinded me, and I chose bad people to be in my arena, even when they showed me red flags that they was no good. I still fuck with them anyway, especially women. Beautiful women. You know, a lot of things happen, and I had all this money, and I just said, I had never had that amount of money before. My mother, I grew up in an apartment my whole life, right? My mother picked cotton as a little girl for 75 cents a day. So, you know, I got free lunch at school. You know, we ate no frills. We ate all paper plates. We wasn't poor, but I had all this money, and I felt undefeated. I felt nothing could touch me. And it led to my demise. I became careless and reckless. And I equated the amount of money I had in my bank account to success. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. It led to my downfall. Some motherfuckers told on me, but you know, had I been doing the taxes right, I wouldn't have had to worry about that. You could tell all you want.
What do you think was the beyond just the taxes? What do you think was based on your lifestyle, what do you think you were doing wrong the most that probably led to it? Was it the women? Was it the just careless disregard of like certain other things?
Greed, money and greed. I would do anything for money. Money was my religion, and my dick ruled me, told me what to do. I would do anything for money. I would break any law. It was all my fault. It was all my fault. But I didn't see that until I got to FCI Morgantown in West Virginia, until I got to prison. Because I blamed everybody and everything for what happened to me. That nigga ratted on me, that nigga ratted, this nigga's a piece of shit, this one ratted. But when I got to prison, I'll never forget it. I was in Gerard unit, and I got cool with this nigga from Atlanta. And I'm crying and complaining, yo, this one ratted on me, man. My son, mother took my son in the Jersey. He's from Atlanta. Jersey, I like you now. You all right with me. You good people, I like you now. But, you know, I hear you blaming everybody, but you the one that had the criminal intent. You was the one that broke the law. See, these are civilians, and that's what civilians do, they tell. But you had the criminal intent. And he was the first person to confront me about my crying about what another motherfucker did. And I had to look at it and I said, you know what, Sean? Everybody that you had around you showed you signs you was no good and you disregarded them. The same windshield that I was looking out at the people that I was choosing to be in my life, they weren't looking back at me with the same windshield.
What does that mean?
I was looking out at them as confidants, loyal, a solid nigga like me. I'm thinking they had their principles and their values was the same as mine. Like I say, I didn't cooperate. I had the opportunity to, right? But they cooperated immediately when the heat came on them.
You think Puff's thinking about that with some of the people that's up there?
Man, 1000%.
Paying that like
1000%.
Hey, you know it's the 1st of July. If you guys don't know, happy 1st of July. By the way, I have a large audience in Canada. This happy Canadian Day.
Canada, what up?
Happy Canadian Day. Is Lauren back? Lauren, we missed you.
Ain't no question. Finish that thought, you said Puffy, you think it's Puffy's looking at the people like that?
Well, today is the 1st, and let me tell you this. One thing I know about having some shit, my phone don't ring more than when it's the 1st of the month. Everybody got, because it's bill time. Rent, this and third. Diddy paid that rent this month. Diddy paid that rent this month for Jane. When Diddy's sitting there knowing that $10K came out of his account to pay that motherfucking rent for Jane.
And this bitch got on the stand and testified against me.
What do you think? What do you think he's thinking?
He's furious. He's furious. But he's not gonna, and I hope for Puff, man. And Puff, this is for you, man. You know, and I'm willing to talk to you about this at any point, man. You know, I hope you looking at the part that you played in all of this.
It's gonna take a while for that though, because he's done
right.
so much.
It took me damn near 4 years to get to that point.
Really?
Right? That I played a major part in these people, bringing them into my life, and they showed me they wasn't no good, and I disregarded the flags anyway. That's why today, people reach out to me on Instagram or email, and the minute they show me they on some sucker style, man, we got nothing else to talk about. We not doing that. You got to be straight up and down like 6 o'clock with me, because that's what I'm gonna be to you, right? And if you can't match my energy, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Lauren, you are back.
I'm back.
We got Lauren back in the building.
Oh my gosh, that was so stressful, but we made it. Oh, that looks so good. I'm gonna eat it after
We got Lauren back in the building. Enjoy it. Listen, hey, we eat on camera here. Listen, everybody, listen on stream. Let me tell you this: when I'm watching you, when I'm watching both of y'all, usually the mid hour, like around 12, I get my food and I let y'all talk, and I start eating. And my chat is used to understanding we eat on camera. It is all good. Okay, explain what happened. You just went through hell.
Okay, so no, I mean, it was just it was not horrible getting there, but as Claudia, we walk outside. It's so dramatic. It is pelleting rain. I mean, it is like
out here.
Yes, I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, seriously? So I get there, and like literally as soon as I walk in, the jury sent a note that they're done deliberating for the day.
Did you went in the main
I got
courtroom?
inside. Yes, I did not. I literally was about to walk in, and yeah, jury deliberating or done deliberating. They sent, so basically I don't know how far you got, but like the judge sent them back and said, okay, yeah, so they sent a note, we're done for the day. I mean, well, first of all, surrounding the courthouse, I think because of the way the media works these headlines, the headlines are partial verdict is back. So everybody thinks that they're gonna announce the verdict. Was there a
mass amount of...
It was insane. And it was raining.
How did you get into the main courtroom then?
Well, no, so, I mean, it's just to go back, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but we had to get there to be in the main courtroom. At first, you had to line up as early as possible because there's only 21 spots for press, 14 seats for the public. And it was, gosh, all the weeks are running together. I think it was last week that they finally said, okay, if you are here right now, and generally the same people every day, but other outlets will kind of sprinkle in and you're like, oh crap, I'm a little further behind in line. But they finally said, if you are here today, whatever day this was, sometime at the beginning of last week or the week before, they said we will take this list and you can automatically get in the courtroom
whenever.
Well, for closing arguments and for the verdict. And they said, basically, you're good. You can show up at any time. So my name is on that list, so I can go in and out of the main courtroom.
I see you with a pass.
Yes,
you don't have to show your pass. I don't know if that's identified it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But this is standard. This is the standard press pass. I think is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't they give you a press pass?
You have to be.
I ain't applied for one.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. So, yeah, to get a New York City press pass, you
Any soda on there?
have to cover
Coke.
She's so nice.
Is he guilty? Is he guilty or not guilty on them 4 charges?
Nah, I'll fuck with you, Unc.
Well,
yo, listen, Unc is tired now.
But by the way, you could probably get. You have to have covered 6 New York City events to get a press pass.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of people that's new that got them. You gotta go to one. I gotta go to one.
But you have to submit online and then.
But what did they say about 2, 3, 4? Is he guilty or not guilty?
Listen.
Did it come out?
This is why we sent you, Lauren.
Don't nobody know.
No one knows, but I think.
Do the defense and the prosecutors know?
No.
Nobody don't know.
Nobody knows except for the jury.
Look, there's gonna be a whole bunch of YouTubers talking about they know. They lying.
Well, and that's the problem right now with these headlines I'm looking at, and I've gotten so many texts, and it's like, the verdict's out there, and I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. It's not. I mean, like I said, I ran out of here because I thought there was a chance they could read the partial verdict, but I think the biggest thing here is that they did not issue an official Allen charge, so the jury doesn't. If they issued here, and I can, so
the jury could be hung.
Well,
unless they get that right.
I don't think that's going to happen. Let me.
No, but could it be?
So the other thing is that the defense, they wanted to say, hey, jurors, you can come in on Thursday and deliberate as well, because technically the court is closed Thursday and Friday. But the defense said, don't tell them now. We don't want you to tell them now that they can come in Thursday,
Yeah, love, this shit's gonna go crazy. This shit finna go crazy.